Hello people, the CV3J here again, and as we last left off, we had just defeated Dracula. Now it's time to go through the alternate stage of this game. Now we come back to this divine path that we saw back at the Mad Forest run. So, we're gonna go downstairs so we can do the Murky Marsh of Morbid Morons. So, let's do this without further ado. The first thing we have to deal with are these toads. In the US version they have horns, but here they do not. Your best bet here is to sink into the swamp so you can at least see the toads coming and have some reaction time. That was weird with the sound. No thanks, I don't want the dagger. Go away. Too many daggers appearing. Then we go downstairs, and here we have some more toads, and we have these mudmen. I believe this is the only stage in the game where they appear. In fact, it is. We get a money bag, and moving on. Thank God, I hate those toads. Now we have to deal with bats and, believe it or not, more mudmen. But mudmen are nothing to worry about. In this part of the stage, you really want to pay attention to the bats that are coming. Yeah, that is the axe, so I'm gonna let that kill itself. Now we get a crucifix. The mudmen never appear where you are, and you can use that to your advantage. There's a pork chop right down there if you really need it. But you really want to pay attention to the bats, because just like the Medusa heads, they stay at the same height as you do. You also want to pay attention to the mudmen. They aren't much more to worry about, but they can still catch you off guard sometimes. So now we're on to the next section of the stage. And immediately we're going to fight some ghosts, some skeleton ghosts, and some whipping skeletons. Now you don't want to get this one because you see it has the boomerang. Now you want to keep your distance so you can see that skeleton ghost coming. It also doesn't help that each skeleton ghost has to get hit 2 times. Another dagger? Jeez, how many daggers am I gonna get? Now we have to stopwatch. I forgot about that one. Okay. Now here I'm gonna switch to Grant. Your best bet here is to just crawl. Whoa. Sometimes the climbing can get really glitchy. And with all these mudmen. So your best bet here is just climb on the wall so you can let the bats fly over you. And then when they come, you want to immediately move out of the way. And I think there's one more. Yep. So that's it. Now it's time to move on to the boss, Phantom Bat. This thing, the main deal with him is that every time you hit him, he'll double. But each form only takes 1 hit to kill. And often at times, it'll group up. Like that. That's the best time to do it. And the other deal with him is that, let's see. Yeah, it'll often group up, and I think it multiplies 4 times. And you can't pause or switch characters as seen there. So that's stage 4, Murky Marsh. Not too many outtakes, but take a guess where many of them are. The first thing you have to deal with are these horny toads. Well, they aren't horny here, that's how they are in the US. This is the main annoyance, see? So far, the stage is cooperating quite nicely. I say that now. I forgot that bats are still coming. Whoa, 2 on screen? Really? so you can have some reaction time to actually killing them. And due to their big size, they are pretty big targets. See, they can even stick out their tongues to kill you. In the US version, they actually have horns. Your best bet over here is to just sink into the swamp so you can have some reaction time. Otherwise, that happens. Your best bet here is just sink into the swamp so you can have some reaction time to these toads. But, man, they are such big targets. Your best bet right there is to sink into the swamp so you can see the toads coming. But if you have that many on the screen, you're screwed. Your best bet is to use Grant here, because his axes can absolutely destroy these things. But if there's too many on the screen, you're screwed. You really want to use Grant for this one, because he can absolutely destroy these things. Just make sure there aren't too many on the screen, otherwise you will die, as seen here. Each time you hit him, he multiplies, and axe is a really good weapon to use for this, because they multiply real fast, but if there's too many on the screen, you're screwed. And the axe is a really good sub-weapon to use for this battle. But just make sure there aren't too many on the screen. And really that close, chase. And axe is a pretty good weapon to use, except if you're going to run into him. So this stage really wasn't that bad. It was a pretty nice breather after the Dracula battle, actually. So, where does this stage stand today? I give this place a 3 out of 10, for 2 reasons. One, those toads at the beginning. Their big size and their unpredictability of when they're going to come out of the swamp, that makes them very difficult to dodge. Also, when their tongues come out, that does a lot of damage too. At least if you're playing as Grant, from my experiences. Also, for Phantom Bat, but we'll get to him in a little bit. Those bats, that's all just a matter of paying attention. The Mudmen are nothing to get by, and sometimes those skeleton ghosts can be a bit annoying. As you saw in that room that was next to last before the boss, they could be a little tricky. Yeah, they can be very tricky pretty fast. And also trying to lure those bats. Sometimes it can't be as easy as I made that seem. Sometimes it could be a little trickier. And then he gets a Phantom Bat. Now, I'm not sure why I had that many outtakes with them. In my first attempt at this, I don't think I had any outtakes against Phantom Bat himself. It was just his stage. The main point of difficulty with him is that sometimes there could be so many of the miniature Phantom Bats on the screen that there is no possible way for you to get around them. But one notable thing that I did not, I was too busy trying to take him down, was that if you're in the swamp, they actually cannot hit you there. And once they lure into a group, or if they ever get into a group, that's the perfect time for you to take them all down at once. So I have no idea why I had that many outtakes against them. Now it's just ridiculous. So the real main point of difficulty in this stage was just those toads. I just don't like them. They are really big and they take up a lot of the screen. So 3 out of 10 seems about right. So next up, we're going to go into the awesome stage of nightmares. We're going to Alucard's stage. Or Alucard's cave, that's what it's called. We're going to be going to Alucard's cave in the next stage. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. This is TF32 signing out, and have a great night.